My name is Janice Cho, and I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I'm here on a biology research Fulbright grant. So I just graduated from Pitzer College in Claremont, California. It's in a consortium of 5 colleges, and I majored in biology or human biology and Spanish, and I actually found out about, I'm currently working in a lab in Leuven. It's a bioengineering, sort of like genetics lab. And I found out about this lab actually because I did an internship at the University of Washington 1 summer ago, or 2 summers ago now. And the lab that I worked in at the University of Washington collaborates with a lab here in Belgium. And I read some of the papers from this lab. So I work with Kevin Verstreppen, and I found his research really fascinating and decided to apply for a Fulbright to do research in his lab. So my school is really supportive in that we have professors who really help us with the application process, and there are a bunch of us who apply for the Fulbright each year. So it was actually a big community of us working on this application together, and even though it was grueling, the support system was really strong, so it didn't feel too bad. But it was indeed a lengthy process because I'm trying to remember. So I worked on this application in September. It was due to our universities by the end of September, and I know each university has a different deadline. And so for me, I think it was the end of September sometime, I don't remember. And then the university takes a look at the application, conducts interviews, and the interviews are conducted by faculty members, hopefully who know about your project, but in my case, that wasn't true because I was interviewed by sociologists and anthropologists, and my project is very natural science based. So the interviews were conducted, and then the school sends out the actual application early October, and you wait till mid-January to hear whether or not you're a finalist, and then once you proceed past that stage, then you have to wait till, in my case it was mid-March to find out if you got it or not, but I know for my other friends who applied to other countries, they waited till as late as May or June. I really like the country. To be honest, I came here because of the lab, and I really wasn't thinking about like Belgium as a country specifically. Like, I really want to come to Belgium, so I'm going to apply for a Fulbright. It was mostly, I really like this lab and what they do seems really interesting, so I'm going to apply for a Fulbright, and this lab is in Belgium. But Belgium is an amazing country. It's really diverse, and there's this whole dichotomy between Flanders and Wallonia, and my lab is in Leuven, which is Flanders. But my Fulbright host family, I like to call them, they're from Wallonia, and so I've gotten to know, I want to say, both sides of Belgium, and the people are just really nice. And it's really funny because a lot of people say Belgians are sort of not as open initially, but once you get to know them, they're, really warm and nice. But for me, especially, everyone I've encountered has been really open from the get-go. And the lab I work in is mostly Belgian with some international folks, but all of them are just really open and nice and have been helpful from the start, which is what I really like. So my project is officially titled Variable Tandem Repeats as Facilitators of Rapid Evolution. So variable tandem repeats are these regions in the genome that were long thought to be non-functional, and these are repetitive regions. And scientists thought that they didn't really have a function, but recent studies and a study conducted by Kevin Verstreppen, when he was in the US, actually showed that these regions do have a functional role, and mutating this region can lead to phenotypic effects. And so I'm looking at these regions in various genes, essential genes, in the yeast model, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and I'm trying to see whether these regions do have a function as seen previously, and I'm working with a postdoc and another Belgian master's student, and hopefully we'll get results. So we work with yeast, and right now so this is month 2 of my grant, and I went in and looked for essential genes. So without these genes, the yeast will die. So I looked in essential genes with a particular repeat called glutamine repeats, and it's been shown in previous research that, for example, Huntington's disease is caused by an expansion of these glutamine repeats. In humans, there's a certain threshold. So if you pass this repeat number, then you have Huntington's disease. So we looked at essential genes in yeast with these repeats, and hopefully if we delete those regions, then we'll see something happening in the yeast, and we can say, look, this region is important. So this entire grant is 9 months, and I've already done 2. So this is sort of a gap year in between going to medical school, hopefully, and I want to extend this grant, and I'll be applying to medical schools at the same time. So hopefully, if I get interviews, then I'll have to fly back and forth. So we'll see how it goes. And for a while, I've been I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to do just an MD or an MD PhD, but this research experience, even though it's only been 2 months, has really persuaded me to do an MD PhD, which is definitely going to be a big chunk of my life. But I really do find research fascinating, and even though I've had experience before, I think this Fulbright experience really solidified that I do want this as my career. So I'm really grateful.